AI can now create this image and generate this video and write multiple articles for you. And then for students, AI can do your research and finish your assignments too. Right now, over 50% of online articles are AI generated. Do you know ChatGPT has over 1.2 billion downloads worldwide? And ChatGPT is the most downloaded app on all Apple mobile devices, according to App Magic website. Think about this. Have you met anyone within the Gen Z bracket that does not have ChatGPT on their device? I don't think I'm the only one who experienced the downside to AI 2025. So I am making this video for a version of myself who got stuck in this AI wave and lost the measure of creativity in it. If you can relate to this feeling, this video is perfect for you. Okay, I want to begin this video by sharing the version of me before AI and the version of me after AI. So we are going to backtrack into my Web3 journey. I joined Web3 during the last quarter of 2024. I was still a student then and I wanted to try something new. Web3 was kind of trending a bit. The advantages for me during that time were my friends who were in Web3 before me and my skill sets. Prior to that, I already built up experience and skill in graphics design, video editing, and a bit of writing articles because I started posting online on social media more frequently. Web3 wasn't initially tough for me based on I had friends that guided me on exactly what to do. So I applied for some ambassador jobs and I got some, which was actually nice. Graphic design and some other skill sets are as demanding as they are profitable. So when AI models came into the market, I believe I was among the first wave of people to see its advantages. I mean, writing articles on Twitter is a bit taxing if you don't have Twitter Premium. So the hack me and my colleagues then used were we wrote full articles, posted them on Medium, then converted those articles to threads on Twitter. So it kind of gave us an edge and bonus points. Then those articles that we broke to threads, we converted them to videos. So our strategy was to do our research, create content on it, then divide the content across the different content types we could do. That is graphics design, articles, and videos. So when ChatGPT came out first, I saw the advantage being a language model. It can receive series of data and you can prompt it enough to give you specific information from those data sets you have fed it. So well, it was a big advantage honestly. So however slowly I began creating a mini system around ChatGPT where I started working for projects. I'll work for some of my colleagues and get a certain percentage of their pay by the end of the month. So I use ChatGPT to manage this system whereby projects I'm not working for, I'm indirectly working for them through my colleagues. So having their jobs, I input all the data from the project into ChatGPT, prompt it, get the required content for them, and create. So it kind of saved my skill set in terms of time. So I didn't spend much time designing anymore. I didn't spend much time researching on articles. All I needed to do was create a new chat, feed it all the information of the project I could find, then prompt exactly what I needed, and it gave me good content. Then new image models came out, which also was an advantage to my graphics design skills. So Microsoft Copilot came out then and I began using it. It wasn't perfect, but my graphics design skills were an advantage. Whereby after generating an image, if it doesn't suit my need completely, I could just design over it or just paint over it because I have skills in illustration as well. So now I'm no more writing articles, I'm no more doing research, and I'm no more doing graphic design in a way since I'm generating most of my content. So fast forward to 2025, everything is all good. Web3 is going fine, my system is working fine for me. But then I noticed I became a bit nervous when I started hosting Twitter spaces because I faintly realized that some of the projects I was working for, I didn't know them as I thought I should because I was so dependent on AI that I didn't read on them myself. So as far as I was delivering excellently, it was all good and fine, which was a good system. I mean, it actually free up more time for me to learn other things, but it was also a problem because I didn't know as much as the project myself. So, which puts me in a stage of always reading to represent, like that kind of scenario. This brings me to my first point on reliability, that is self-reliance, because building a system on AI gives you the results, but it doesn't take you through the processes behind it. And funny enough, you can still prompt for the processes behind it, but not doing those research yourself takes away the experience of knowing how things work and why exactly they work that way. So I got to this point where I could explain the software, explain how this blockchain game work, what kind of contracts they are using, how it applies, how you can swap tokens. But the engineering behind it were more of like explanatory knowledge. They were not experienced. I couldn't tell exactly to the details why things work that way. Though I could give explanation of its function and results, but the strategy and the mechanics behind it were missing because everything was AI generated and I only had the answers. But I couldn't answer to any variable that is outside the results or functions that I learned through ChatGPT prompts. This is something you need to be conscious about because amidst the results and the functionality of certain things AI gives you, it takes away the process of actually knowing how things work. And if you don't know how things work yourself, you lose reliability in the answers you give because anything outside the variable of your prompt, you need to go back to AI to get more answers, meaning you are not reliable. Let's say you use ChatGPT to prepare for a podcast session and the host asks you something outside what ChatGPT gave you as a script or manuscript. How then can you catch yourself when you don't know the backing of, let's say, how business works? You don't know the backing of the creative journey in developing a brand or developing a logo. You don't know the creative brief behind how a game was developed, behind how contracts work, behind how deals are signed, because ChatGPT just gives you the answers. But doing your own research gets you to the point where you are reliable enough to, number one, understand the question, number two, tell the processes in order to get those answers, and number three, much more importantly, references. While ChatGPT can prompt you certain answers, functions, and displays, when you do your research, you get to know the names and co-engineers in your industry. So you can reference to an extent the authors or the knowledge to which you are getting things from. Don't get me wrong, research is time consuming, but to be an outlier or to stand out in a field, you need to know your onions. Think about it. Many people might think that AI is giving some people an advantage more than others. But the truth is, we are all working on equal grounds right now because everyone has access to AI, everyone has access to a mobile device, and everyone has access to the internet. So anything you are prompting, I can bet you another person has exactly the same idea, which will give you guys exactly the same result because everyone is using that one model, or at least every model is taken from one data source. That is, for instance, ChatGPT here. So when everyone is getting indirect results but are tapping from one singular source, it shows how equal we are on the same plane. So for you to stand out, it's easier if you break the jinx of doing your research through AI and going through that process, going through that research phase, because it gives you understanding rather than just answers. Yes, and there is the easy fix problem. Many people may not realize how deep or how far they have gone with AI, but personally, I realized that from generating articles, from generating design, it got me to the point where I wasn't going through the processes anymore, but I was lacking the patience for it. Let me explain. Let's take, for instance, graphics design. For you to stand out as a graphics designer, you need to understand how to use references, you need to understand how to use different softwares, and you need to understand design principles. AI takes away all those three steps and just gives you the result of your prompt, let's say an AI generated image. So now I created so much content using AI that when I'm tasked with a new job, I just went to AI for my references. It aided me by freeing up more time for me as I thought, but it was taking away the patience of seeing things through. Also, to be a good writer needs a certain measure of you reading a lot of books, learning about different authors, and writing and writing and writing a lot. But with AI generated content like ChatGPT, for instance, you can write in a certain tone of voice, you can write based on a certain artist or a certain writer, and suddenly there you are getting, should I say, the accolades because you have proven by your works that you are a writer. But it has taken something away from you, and it's not just from the place of delivering constant articles, but it's taking away the creativity of seeing things through. It's taking away the process of updating your vocabularies, the process of knowing more authors and reading more books in that experience, which is where the easy fix problem comes in. Because slowly you don't have patience to see through your jobs, to see through your skills, and it will indirectly affect other areas of your life. Do you know that the measure of people using ChatGPT now has gone outside work-based prompts? People are now asking ChatGPT questions like, "Oh, what can I post on social media? Oh, how can I get this fixed? Hello ChatGPT, how does this look? Hello ChatGPT, how can I get this done?" It's taking something away other than patience. Take Meta for example. We have instant comments now where you don't actually need to read the article. You can actually click on a single auto comment that understands the article and comments as if you have read it. How do you have a comment that is referencing a post that you haven't read, but your comment states that you have read it? Do you see what is taken away from you? I am sure you have heard this quote: AI is getting smarter while people are getting dumber. Believe me, that quote is no joke. We are seeing it happening in real time. We saw it with a lot of brain rot content last year. And yes, slowly you are losing your voice. One of the reasons I stood out as a designer and in the kind of content I created there was research. And that research was, aside the knowledge and the time I spent in reading about those projects, it was also from a place of my personality. To be a good writer, to be a good designer, to be a good or a great creative, your personality adds to it, and your personality is unique to only you because you best understand yourself. Imagine, let's say, a writer whose entire body of work were all written by AI. To what degree does this said author has a personality? Because if everything is from AI, then it takes away your personal inputs, it takes away your ideation, it takes away that unique factor that makes your article you. Because everybody has a unique measure of how they think and to which degree they relate things or communicate things to each other or communicate things to us. So, to what degree is your article yours when the entire personality was generated by AI? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying AI is bad or worst. I'm just bringing you to the consciousness where you only use it on a need to use basis, not for every. Look, when you use ChatGPT or any AI tool to execute all your ideas, you definitely need AI to execute it or follow it through to the end. Imagine having to defend your work and your entire debate has to come from AI, or you are confused with basic questions like what inspired your work. Have you noticed that the greatest of creatives and the greatest of artists were influenced from their experience in life, their emotions, their personality, their knowledge, how they process and accumulate things, their environment? These are the social impacts of our individualities and our lives that AI can never bring out, especially as a creative. AI is good for time management, is good for multitasking. But when your ground zero starts from AI, it's just from a place of automated bias that is meant to be all round positive to all your prompts. You know that ChatGPT is not allowed to be mean, right? So it's an addiction, especially for those in the tech space. Can you count one day or a space of 24 hours where you stayed without using AI or ChatGPT, for instance? Can you count one time when you had a particular project to work on, or you had a certain deadline, that your phase three call to action, AI or ChatGPT, was not involved? That's why I'm talking about an addiction, and we don't see it except we want to break that habit. One thing about addiction is you don't realize it's a problem until you want to break the habit. It's becoming an addiction because it's taking away the place of introspection, it's taking away the place of thinking things through, it's taking away the place of human communication, it's taking away the place of mentorship, genuine friendship, it's taking away the place of research, it's taking away the place of references, it's taking away the place of ideation or learning through the process. And worstly, it's taking away experience, because once you get into the easy fix zone where all your questions can be answered by ChatGPT, where does the place of understanding the problem and understanding how to solve it from a humanly perspective come from? Believe me, it's an addiction. Okay, let's up it a bit. When last do you go within a space of 2 days you didn't prompt anything from ChatGPT? And let's say you're using it for something productive. Just introspect with it, go through your prompts, and genuinely ask yourself if your prompts are actually for productivity's sake.
Why?
So, to the version of me that needed to hear this, I want you to be conscious of how AI is flooding the creative space, and I want you to be conscious not to get into the easy fix problem. I want you to be conscious not to get addicted. I want you to be conscious not to lose the reliability in your creativity, because you are allowed to use AI, but don't use it at the cost of your creativity. All right, then. So earlier I talked about how I worked in the Web3 space for over, I think, 2 years. I can share more details about how that went. Or better still, you have questions on if working anonymously is the right thing to do, especially in this age of vast technology and social media presence. Comment below and I would create a detailed video on if working anonymously is the right thing for you, or based on our social media age, you actually need to put your face out there so that your works can be proven with a face and a name. Until next time, peace.